Masterpieces, stories from the world's greatest operas and ballets. Welcome to the magical story of the opera Hansel and Gretel. As well as sharing with you the story of Hansel and Gretel, we'll also tell you a little bit about the composer, Engelbert Humperdinck, and listen to some of his beautiful music and songs, sung for us in German, which is the language in which the original opera was written. Have you ever seen people dressed up as witches at Halloween? It can be fun, wearing a pointy hat and a swooshing black cloak, and carrying a magical broomstick, ready to fly off into the night, cackling as you go. The Wicked Witch in the story of Hansel and Gretel, written by the brothers Grimm, is probably one of the most well-known witches in all of the fairy tales. And most of us know what happens to her at the end of the story, don't we? But did you know that a famous German composer called Engelbert Humperdinck and his sister Adelheid once wrote an opera based on the story? And through their beautiful melodies, music, and songs, they really bring the story of Hansel and Gretel to life. The opera Hansel and Gretel is now world famous, but it started out as a much simpler idea. Adelheid wanted to write a play for her own children, and she asked her brother, Engelbert Humperdinck, to compose some songs to go with her story. Adelheid's children and all of their friends and family loved it too. And so, Engelbert decided to turn their little play into a full-length grand opera. The story is exciting, magical, and a little bit scary. A fairy tale adventure about a brother and sister who must outwit the hungry witch they meet in the forest. Let's start our story by listening to a little bit of the introduction music to the opera, which is also called the overture. As the overture to the fairy tale ends, the first part of the story begins. In an opera, we call this Act 1. We find ourselves in a small broom-maker's cottage on the edge of a forest. The walls are hung with brooms of all sizes, large and small. Hansel and Gretel are at home alone, doing their chores while their parents are out of the house.
Suse, liebe Suse, was Flaschchen im Stroh. Die Gänse gehen barfuß und haben kein Schuh. Der Schuster hat's Leder kein Leisten dazu. Drum kann den Gänslein auch machen, so geht sie halt barfuß. Schuh.